$3 billion budget that reflects our shared priorities.
The proposed $3 billion budget matches last year's figures, but creating it involved overcoming several challenges.
Our budget is always limited by the city's geographic and historic challenges. But this year, we are building the budget at a time when we as a city face rising costs, and there's a very uncertain federal landscape. In fact, as recently as February, we faced a $50 million budget gap between projected revenues and expenses, which is almost 5% of our total operating budget.
The mayor's plan emphasizes investments in city halls, schools, and neighborhoods. He proposes adding a position for performance management and giving employees a 3.5% raise. He also included an additional $18.6 million for staff and improvements to the finance department and 311 services.
We've invested in staff by transitioning to the Virginia retirement system, requiring living wages, engaging with organized labor, and improving our benefit packages.
For neighborhoods, Avula is proposing a $50 million investment in housing, $300,000 for the Trauma Healing Response Network, and funding for 60 new police officers with increased compensation.
This budget increases compensation for our sworn personnel in the Richmond Police and Fire Departments by an average of 10.3%. That brings us above the regional average of compensation, and it keeps Richmond as an employer of choice.
Regarding schools, he has increased funding for Richmond Public Schools by $10 million from last year, though it still falls $22 million short of their proposed budget.
I know that the need is sparkling, and I will do everything I can to advocate for more at the state and federal levels.
Superintendent Jason Cameras released a statement saying in part that they understand the city is facing a tough budget year, and they sincerely appreciate the addition of $10 million in a time when many departments and partners face cuts. However, right now it falls short of what their children need and deserve, and it jeopardizes the progress they've made and their children's future. The city is accelerating spending $38 million in the following years to improve the water infrastructure amid the recent issues at the water plant. The budget also includes a planned $12 monthly increase in water, wastewater, and gas rates, along with cuts to nonprofit funding.
That financial support has grown over time, reaching over $13 million in the current fiscal year. And in this fiscal climate, that level of funding is simply not sustainable.
Mayor Avula also highlighted the importance of economic development to grow Richmond's tax base. City Council will now hold public hearings in the coming weeks for citizens to give their input, and then they'll make changes before they vote on a final budget by the end of May. In Richmond, I'm Maggie Marshall, CBS 6 News.